Fashion.
Hey everybody, and thank you for watching another episode of HeSpoke Fashion. I am the host, Daylon, and I have to jump right into this discussion. Listen, I'm sure you've been hearing all that has been said about Beyonce both this week and last week. And listen, I don't want to be a pal on here, but Beyonce does it again. That's right, Beyonce does it again. Boy, what did she do this time? You know, you just may want to stick around until the end just to find out. As you all know, Beyonce is one of the greatest entertainers of our time, and she is constantly reinventing herself in every area in terms of her fashion, style, and music. And listen, this latest project is no different. And I'm telling you, I think right now that deserves a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Renaissance. Can you say that with me? Renaissance. Well, what does that title mean exactly? You know, let me know what you think it means in the comment section, because I really want to know what you come up with. Nevertheless, while we may not know exactly what Beyonce meant by titling this project Renaissance, because, you know, there could be a different and deeper meaning than what we think. And we do know that, however, this project started with its own share of hiccups. Beyonce, the undeniable talent that continues to lift us musically and for some spiritually, always gives us something pleasant to view and sometimes something controversial as well. You know, she's ever so fashionable, so stylish, you know, so doggone fine. Oops, but I digress, because listen, I don't want no smoke from my man Jay-Z, right? So when you look at Beyonce, it is no wonder why she boasts 273 million followers on Instagram and can shake the world with her music and her thoughts. With all that she has going for herself, I can't seem to understand why she would do this. I just don't know. Why would she do it? Why would she risk it all just to be able to do this? Would you risk it all just to do this? Now, I want you to hold that response until later, because I really want to know what you would do given the same set of circumstances. Now, the prelude leading up to this project was amazing, as Beyonce and her team are notorious for being able to create a buzz for any project she does, either by dropping it without any fanfare or rhyme or reason, or gracing us in the cover of such magazines as Vogue, along with a photo shoot to tease us a bit further. And listen, she did not disappoint in terms of her fashion at any point in time. From this work of art right here, as we see, to this creative piece channeling all there is in seduction and regal beauty, to this one that, you know what, this one is one of my favorites for its futuristic look, accompanied by the look of royalty. No one does it better than the Queen Bey herself. Renaissance, you say? Renaissance, indeed. But after such a major showing in Vogue and you know what, channeling everything a fan would desire in terms of how she represented herself and her brand, but why would she do this? Why? Why? Could the hiccups at the beginning have been caused by what she did prior? I mean, these types of hiccups are uncommon for Beyonce and her team. From the start of this project, hiccups were there, and it started with the disabled community. But when she made a remark that until this happened, even I didn't know could be viewed in a bad light. But to her credit, she was quick to rectify the problem by the removal of that term. I, for one, was glad that she did, because one group that has also been marginalized in this country is the disabled community. And you know what? The stigma remains with those who suffer from mental issues. Hopefully, her removal of the term will help shed light on those who still won't seek help because of that stigma. But not to be overshadowed, but the news concerning Khalees was the news I heard, and probably many of you as well, prior to hearing about the disabled community being offended. And although the issue with that community, it actually occurred first. But as always, Beyonce was swift in how she resolved this issue with Khalees. And I'm afraid to say, to Khalees' chagrin, however. I mean, sometimes you simply have to know what battle to fight. And this should serve as a lesson to us all when we are so easily offended. I suggest and recommend that you take a minute to research what you think was said without the emotions. And then I believe you will better assess your next move. In this case, Khalees did not, and it may have cost her. You know, I guess the milkshake that brought all the boys to the yard was actually borrowed. You know, the last and possibly the greatest hiccup came in terms of a song she did called Church Girl, in which she sampled a song written by Twinkie Clark of the Clark Sisters fame. And that one act possibly soured many would-be fans and non-fans alike. And if you haven't heard this masterpiece that she sampled by Twinkie from the project by the Clark Sisters entitled You Brought the Sunshine, AB, can you play, and please play a snippet and keep it short, because I don't want any copyright smoke.
In thy holy will, in thy holy will, in thy holy, 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 holy will, in thy holy will, in thy holy will, in thy holy, 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 holy. Lord, I just want to be rooted and grounded in thee. Lord, make me. Lord, place me in the center of thy will.
Now, you've heard this amazingly anointed song from Twinkie herself. And while this was a point of contention for many just a few days ago, I'm going to forego continuing along with that discussion until a later time, if any. But if that is not what I'm referencing when I mention Beyonce does it again, then I'm sure you're wondering, what is it that she did again? Again, this is why you can never really get so offended with someone over one or more prior, what we consider quote unquote bad acts, that you can't applaud their good ones. Now, while many are ready to write Beyonce off because of the major offense to the church, and believe you me, I know a few that had pen and paper in hand. But before you do, please hear me out, because this act, in my opinion, it seems to mean, to me at least, that there is still hope for her yet, if canceling was indeed your intended action. But what is it that she did? Now, while everyone else has focused on the missteps of this project, I want to focus on why she remains atop the list of the greatest entertainers in our time, and as well as persistently representing the Black community very well. And that is in what she did in terms of some lyrics that were included in the last song of this project. The brilliant woman that she is, in an effort to show support and to broaden the knowledge of others, she basically destroyed Birkin and at the same time gave life to Telfar. Now, the Telfar bag, that is for those of you who are not familiar with this bag. And so in the album's final song, Summer Renaissance, toward the end of Summer Renaissance, Beyonce pointedly mentioned that her Birkin bags, Hermes' legendary tote with a famously, watch this, 6-year-long wait list and a minimum $10,000 price tag, are, guess where? In storage. You know, it doesn't get much better than this. Now here's the full verse for your consideration. And she says, Versace, Bottega, Prada, Balenciaga, Vuitton, Dior, Givenchy. Collect your coins, Beyonce. So elegant and raunchy. This haute couture I'm flaunting. This Telfar bag imported. Birkins, them blanks in storage. I'm in my bag. Wow. I mean, again, I think she deserves a round of applause just for that. Yes, absolutely, she deserves it. Now, talking about supporting Black businesses, we have here a great example of someone who does just that. So hats off again to Beyonce for doing this. But yet again, because this is by no means the first time that she has openly supported a person of color in business. Go ahead, look it up, Google it, research it. And while that is a feat in and of itself, what I really want to talk about, and hear me out, guys, is how this one act can shine as inspiration to all of us. What do I mean? Exactly. And what I mean exactly is this. Beyonce, one of the most phenomenal women of our times, made a decision that we all can learn from. And that is simply this. And that is that she doesn't allow brands or trends to dictate what she wears, but she dictates what she wears. And because she wears it, she brings value to the item she chooses to wear. Now, let me tell you this, and this is important. Recognizing that it's you who make the clothes instead of the clothes that make you is one of the most important things you can learn on this fashion journey. And listen, thank God for Beyonce, Queen Bey that is, and that she is still able to school us. You know, I remember a friend of mine, and I'm not going to shout out her name at this time, but she was one of the most fashionable women you would ever want to meet. But guess what? She never wore name brands that were the trends or the most well-known. As a matter of fact, she purposely did not shop for those types of clothing. And you know what? She would woo you when she walked across the street because she would exude the confidence. And I believe it was because she knew that the attention she received wasn't because of the labels, but because of her. Listen, my beautiful butterflies. If it's one thing that you take from HeSpoke Fashion and this episode, please take this. And that is, don't follow the trends, start them. Let me say that again. Don't follow the trends, start them. Listen, that's all I have. I hope you enjoyed this episode of HeSpoke Fashion. I appreciate you for watching, and remember, please hit the like and share button and subscribe to this channel on YouTube. Now I want you to have a good day, good fashion, and remember, HeSpoke Fashion to you.